agenda. It's all about agenda, 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 agenda. Agenda, 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 agenda. We better agenda, agenda, agenda. It's all about agenda, 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 agenda. We better agenda, agenda, agenda. It's all about agenda. Say it to my face now, why should I? Face now, why should I? Say it to my face now, say to my agenda, 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 agenda. We better agenda, agenda, agenda. It's all about agenda, 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 agenda. We better agenda, agenda, agenda. It's all about agenda. Say no to cyberbullying, cyberbullying. Say no to, will be challenge.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
What you see on Twitter is different from Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling.
Say no to cyberbullying. Will be challenge.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
What you see on Twitter is different from Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling.
Say no to cyberbullying. Will be challenge.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
What you see on Twitter is different from Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling.
This is Jafric Radio.
Fooling, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling.
Say no to cyberbullying. Will be challenge.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
What you see on Twitter is different from Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling,
This is Jafric Radio.
fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling.
Say no to cyberbullying. Will be challenge.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your
Get out of the country, or those that come into the country, in one word or the other, will have permission of 100 rooms guest house. We will also
Agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling.
Say no to cyberbullying. Will be challenge.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
What you see on
This is Jafric Radio.
Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling.
Say no to cyberbullying. Will be challenge.
When did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
Jafric Radio, your number one online radio station based in Japan.
It's all about Jafric Radio.
Agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, agenda, fooling. Twitter is our agenda, fooling, fooling, fooling.
Hello, 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 hello. Good morning
That is your Twitter page.
our viewers
and good evening to our viewers in Africa. Good morning to our viewers in Japan. Yasambe Biom. This is a new episode program at Yashishe Mpanyinfo Eddie Atutu Akwanso. Your friend said the week in review. The week in review. Obi baby said, what is the week in review? The week in review. No, your news are akoso wiase nyina. Sa week no no. Ena Jafric Radio. And then Mpanyinfo Eddie Abase. Yam piki. News bi na yen nyina yen de yen twetwe ho enkomo. Na sa programming eye Akyereku, Emmanuel Akyereku, na me na Yaw Pop. Na yebedi sa dwumedi ho chiame na news a ewo akwan mu no ye de abre yen etiefuo. Inti enche bia no I'm going to run all the way to Osaka. Na mahwe say Akyereku are you ready and Akyereku me pacho what's menka?
Chairman, good morning. Ohio gozaimasu.
Ohio gozaimasu. Ogenki desu ka?
Genki desu. Pope-san wa?
Hai, watashi mo totemo genki desu.
Hai. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Kyomo gambarimashou.
Gambarimashou. Ewo, papa we.
Gambarimashou.
I mean, I really like you, pal, because why are they? Your effort is very, very, very good. Prepare, you don't want to give up. And you don't want to lose.
We are trying and we are pushing.
Yeah.
Japan is an interesting country. And I think that if you look at me in particular, when one person I've always been fascinated by the language. Even way back in Ghana, anytime I'm this every boss when he speaks with someone in Japan, he say mushi mushi. Then I'm like, what's the meaning of this? So I was always fascinated by the language in terms of what the Japanese language is about, what the various characters, the katakana, hiragana, kanji, and all that is about. But like you said, today is the opener of our new program, the Week in Review, where we look at all the topical issues that makes the rounds during the week that were reported on www.jafricradio.com. So we pick the issues, we delve deeper into them, we try to explain and then discuss the issues with our listeners or viewers across the world, especially those in Japan and in Africa, and Africans in the rest of the world, those in the other side of Asia, those in Europe, and also those in the Americas. So today is a maiden edition of the show. It's called the Week in Review, and we'll be discussing all the topical issues that made the rounds during the course of the week. As you know, a lot of eventful happenings took place during the last 1 week. And there are issues that are topical in Ghana. There are issues that people are talking about in Nigeria. And of course, our country of domicile, Japan. There are a lot of issues that people are talking about in terms of Africans and in Japanese people in general. So we are going to discuss all these issues in general. So that's the main agenda or focus for today. So if you join us live from Japan, you're watching us live on YouTube at Jafric Radio Japan on YouTube, and also Jafric Radio Extra on Facebook and Jafric Radio Japan. This is the maiden edition of the Week in Review program, live with me, Emmanuel Akyereku, and Mr. Yaw Pop. We are going to bring you a bit of action. But Mr. Pope,
yes, sir.
This week, I didn't see your number Osaka, but the last time we share, now. I didn't miss I wanted to share with you, but I wanted to discuss this on this platform.
Hey, what happened?
I think earlier in the week, I think on Tuesday, and you remember say by 8:00, and me pay free subway don't worry on as well. I was heading towards Minami.
Okay.
So you know that that area that Dontombori area is a place where everyone who comes to Osaka must go there. Number. So you see a lot of foreigners, a lot of Japanese people. Of course, they come to the place. There are a lot of Chinese, a lot of Americans, a lot of Europeans, a lot of Filipinos. Think of all. And what's na young girls, omo water no nyina horo mo and
Okay.
the amount for about town. So
Number.
me pay free sabu wedum na no. Era me hu yenua koda kiwi. Wabɔ rasta kama kan wo se kuroma fo so de rasta no ɛsɛ amanfoɔ no gye rasta no ho ɔhu sɛ
Right.
girls no hu rasta boys no ɔmonyɛ sɛ a yɛwi no baakokora do nsa fa ho a pikapika atama pikapika hu sɛ ti yerɛyerɛ saa ɔmo pɛ rastafoɔ no o ɛnti me pia mmerɛ sɛ yɛnua bi wabɔ rasta na wabɔ no amehwɛ no ne di mi na no na it was a bit strange because ɛsɛ wayɛ stiff bi na ɔnam then right on his extreme right there was an old lady.
Okay.
So the mommy abrewa bi na nam the mommy abrewa bi na nam system no mu na mehwɛ yenua ne style na the way a wire stiff no nam na onya gas na ho no behwɛ bi but I didn't nkyɛn no I didn't ɔhwɛ no to ɔhwɛ no bɔne ahwɛ no onya asɛm na mehwɛ abrewa no so is serious what this serious face ɛna ɔmo no ɔmo nam mo sɛ na yenua yɛ stiff. So a mistake no hwɛ Twitter am dey na okofi a asama ba eno di abrewa de nche na abrewa na ama serious face no so I stiff eno nam na em say omo nam system no mu kosa anti enua no wanti ma nya kwan anhwɛ system no mu ano an say odi ma mpanyin na chi sa na eno nam system no mu okofi ena si we nyina nkrata asɛm ti na ebia
Ampa.
Every amount Israel went to me and take the opportunity around his system. But on a more serious note, we are getting into the issues and into the discussions. So if you have joined us live, don't forget the main center where we are going to discuss all these issues is www.jafricradio.com. So you can log on to this portal and get access to all this. The latest in terms of news in Japan, news in Africa, in Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, wherever you are, log on and then get access. So the first story that we are actually looking at this morning, which was captured live on www.jafricradio.com, I'm going to read to you the headline and a lead or a few lines in the story. If you visit www.jafricradio.com, the front page story reads, I read the headline for you. Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister shares update on Nigerian claiming to build Igbo Kingdom in Ghana. So this is one issue that has generated a lot of controversy in Ghana. Whole lot of controversy. People are talking about it. People in Nigeria, people in Ghana are talking about it. And I don't know if you monitored the social media landscape during the course of the week. You've seen a number of Ghanaians or some group of Ghanaians saying that they are going to embark on a demonstration against this so-called Igbo Kingdom. His name is Chukwudi Jude Ihienetu. Chukwudi Jude Ihienetu. In fact, he's a doctor. I don't know whether his doctor is one that he's acquired through the university or is an honorary doctor. I don't know that one. But the story on www.jafricradio.com reads, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, the Ghanaian Minister for Foreign Affairs, has shared update on an ongoing public uproar about a Nigerian man claiming to establish an Igbo kingdom in Ghana. Chukwudi Jude Ihienetu has quoted massive public anger in Ghana after a viral video of him surfaced online in which he claimed to be working to establish an Igbo kingdom on the sovereign land of Ghana. According to sources from Ghana, Chukwudi claims to have acquired a vast tract of land where he intends to establish his rulership, where all Nigerian citizens of the Igbo tribe will come under his tutelage. So, Uhema, na yes, Papa bi wo Ghana, your friend Chukwudi Jude Ihienetu, he is claiming say among all the Igbos Ghana, he is going to build a kingdom for them. Something like he described it as a village. He's going to build an Igbo village. Now, the Minister for Foreign Affairs for Ghana, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, during the course of the week, because of the way the tensions and the public uproar in Ghana against this so-called move by the Igbo King, the minister decided to invite him to his office where they had a discussion. And according to what the minister said, and per the statement, I want to read portions of the statement to your hearing issued by the Minister for Foreign Affairs. And it reads, yesterday I invited Chukwudi Jude Iheanacho, the gentleman captured in a viral video, claiming he intends to establish an Igbo kingdom in Ghana following an alleged purchase of a tract of land. Izwe clarified that it was an old video or an interview which he deeply regrets. He assured that he has long abandoned that idea and has not purchased any piece of land for that purpose. So we have that video, which was done in 2013. So we can, if we can actually put it on a screen for our viewers to actually hear for themselves what Chukwudi said in that particular 2013 video.
Okay, hold on. The video is not ready yet.
So whilst we are waiting for the video to be live for you to watch, we also want to draw your attention or bring into the conversation of the long-standing relationship between Ghana and Nigeria for all these past number of years. So Ghana and Nigeria actually has a long-standing relationship, and at some point there's been some ups and downs in the relationship between Ghana and Nigeria. And of course, we know that back in the 70s, Mr. Pope, was it in the 70s or
early 80s?
Was it
early 80s.
The early 80s.
Yes.
That the former prime minister of Ghana, who came to rulership through coup d'etat, actually drove all Nigerians away from Ghana. You remember that incident? I know most people. So in the early 80s, such happened took place between Ghana and Nigeria, where Nigerians were driven out of Ghana. Now, in retaliation to that, some couple of years after, Nigerians also retaliated and drove almost all the Ghanaians in Nigeria away from their land. And that brought about that popular bag, Ghana Must Go. So almost everyone in Nigeria and in Ghana has used that bag. And it still exists today in 2025, where there's that popular talk about Ghana Must Go. The Ghana Must Go back. So there's a long line of history between Ghana and Nigeria. And in 2025, where the two countries have actually built their relationship to, it is really becoming worrying to some international watchers and some Ghanaians who are concerned that this current development or trends could further frustrate the relationship between Ghana and Nigeria. While some Ghanaians are claiming that this action by this so-called Igbo king could lead to cultural appropriation on the sovereign lands of Ghana. Some people are not really happy about what is actually going on in Ghana. And it's not only Ghanaians who are not happy about what is going on in Ghana. If you go on Facebook, there are a lot of Nigerians in Nigeria who are reacting to what is happening. And I don't know if producer can put some of the screenshots of the conversation that is taking place between Ghana and some Nigerians on social media for you to read.
We have a couple of videos, put together. So let me start playing this video and see.
Okay. Let's see the videos first before we go to that.
Of the Igbo New Yam Festival.
Hey!
And also the Igbo Day. In Ghana. Since your assumption of office as the leader of the Igbo community in Ghana 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
You've exhibited a very creative and innovative leadership.
Hey, innovative leadership.
That is very worthy of commendation. In particular, you've espoused interculturalism in the diaspora, and you've also sponsored many charitable support for the Ghanaian communities. I want to congratulate you today and commend you to Ghana and also to your people both here and back.
Ghana for obi a watwe ne ti wo Ghana ha ya obo ne ho asafo hene se oyo hempon ya chese wono e na eba bedi Igbo fo so e wo Ghana ha na ne sa ahunti no ebe di kan kura oba no ba ba chekere eye ne kingdom na hinnie kese pa ya ebisi biase ya nyina da na oba be si baabi a efa nipa be ye mpemienu 2000 population na obi a wo Igbo man mu ba o se ampa Igbo fo wo kingdom e wo Ghana ha na when me say video bi say ba e de nti okuma di osia ba ya me ntadi nsem tadanta takura kakra ba nsem pomu mpopuru ntwamani so na na ba ke fa won te me nkantem ne say me no obi ntimi nkoye ne bibi enye politics na onfa me nkotwitwim gise me am de madwen ma say sa politics no meye bi obi ntimi mfa otan nya ade na onfa me metwitwim gise me am ya madwen say me so metan sa nipa no ana say asem no me di ma no betumbi metuwe me ma obi mpiepie ma me nkoye ade the entire video no na menye madwen se meka binie obi odi video bi be tag ni bia no na his excellency John Dramani Mahama ni mfoni ebata ho etimi ye madwen se medo masuko na medo masuko no me hu se sa obi a wono gina ba bi se wo ye Igbo king na ogusu a wodi na fahye na afi enchekura no na fahye no beba so e wo September ye ni abere hwese de be ya afahye no maso no se di pay obi a oba Ghana ha ache etisi ye kabra oba ya eya banya otwa mu ibere so na so abanya otwa mu ibere so no wadidi wa saban mu an wasade ne ho abewura ban we mu enti sa abanya otwa mu ibere no wono mu nima aban we nso nim enti o se ka nokore na a sitting president his excellency John Dramani Mahama ye twena dwe de esi so na emum men drage no te se ebia woye mampani na me ba be kana sem te se de ono na akofa yonda bi ba yeso eno nti na ama asem no men ka bi ntem no na ye hwe ni sei wa what Ghana ha what say what ye
Yo Akyereku
yeah, Mr. Pope. Yeah, so it's quite significant that he paid a courtesy call to the former president of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Akyereku, and if you look at that, it also highlights the point I raised earlier about the relationship between Ghanaians and Nigerians. There has always been this cordial relationship between Ghanaians and Nigerians across all lines, from the diplomatic lines in terms of our political landscape, in terms of our relationship. In fact, our sitting president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he has a stepmom who is a Nigerian. So he has a very good relationship with Nigeria, so to speak. So Nigerians actually like him a lot. Now, if you want to really interrogate the issues and then try to understand what Ghanaians are not comfortable about, one, most Ghanaians are raising concerns about the increasing presence of Nigerians in Ghana. So between 2013 and 2016, I used to stay around Kingsby, Achimota Kingsby in Accra. That area has about 75% to 80% of the population in that area are Nigerians.
Really?
So, yes. So from that time, you will actually see that the number of Nigerians in Ghana, in terms of their population, keeps increasing. Because one, they find peace and comfort in Ghana when they travel to the country, as compared to what they experience in their country. This is according to their own testament. And they also feel that the economy of Ghana is good and is accommodating. In fact, if you look at the geographical landscape of Ghana and how things have been done across the period, Ghana has been open to a lot of foreigners. Ghana is a country that is known not to be hostile to foreigners, and Nigerians are no exception. But one thing that is raising a lot of concern among the Ghanaian citizenry is that most of them feel like some of the crime, I won't say all of them, but most of the criminal activities that is happening in Ghana right now are being committed by Nigerians. The point is that
95%.
that there are no there are not any scientific research or any numbers to back that. But that's what most people are claiming that.
His honorable
Hassan Ayariga.
Yeah.
Hassan Ayariga.
Yeah, he said it's like 95 point something % of the crime caused in Ghana are by the Nigerians, and not like.
So he said that, but he did not back that with any figures or numbers. But what we do know is that most of the criminal activities that are reported in Ghana, and then most of the interventions made by the police in Ghana, some of the cases or most of the cases involve foreign nationals, which a majority of them are Nigerians. So that actually is raising a lot of concern about the security of Ghana and how Nigerians are infiltrating the system and their activities. Now, interestingly, if you go to Nigeria, if you go to the Nigerian social media space, especially on Instagram, TikTok, and on Facebook, most Nigerians are expressing concerns about what this so-called Igbo king is doing in Ghana, and they claim that it is giving Nigeria bad name or bad PR in Ghana. So I'm going to read to you some of the screenshot. I don't know if we can capture and then have them on a platform so that viewers can really read them for yourself. And if you look at the names,
we don't have them
all
here.
of them are Nigerians. All of them, the ones that I'm going to read to you, I'll try to read the names.
Okay, hold on. Let me just take this one off, and then maybe we can see. Kasa, Manenko.
So, if you look at that on a whole, most Nigerians feel that what is actually happening in Ghana is something that is giving Nigerians a very bad name. It's not something that must be tolerated. Now, they are citing the example of Nigerians in South Africa, especially the Igbos, what they did in South Africa, and the reason why their relationship with South Africa was strained or had become strained until recently, the two countries had been able to successfully try and sign a diplomatic pact that is trying to or making attempts to resolve the issue. They also cited the example of their struggles or the issues that Nigerians are having in the United Arab Emirates and all that. So if you read some of the comments, this one is from Toyin Ojo. Toyin Ojo. It says that like Ghana, like South Africa, like Dubai, Masho, like the person is trying to, I don't know whether it's a lady, but the profile photo that I see there is that of a lady. She is trying to say that just like they did in South Africa, they did in Dubai. The person is trying to refer to the United Arab Emirates. They're also doing same in Ghana, and it's giving Nigeria a bad name. This one is from Adioye Olarenwaju. I'm trying to pronounce the name. In the reverse case, yes, in the reverse case, I remembered Ghana must go. Maybe it's time for Nigeria must go version. The uncultured and the untrained tribes among us caused this to Nigeria. So here, this is a Nigerian referring to the Igbo tribe and what they think that they are causing issues to Nigeria. Then again, if you read, this one is for Atayase Afis Abo Larinwa. It's expected for Igbos to have an Igbe in Ghana since they built Ghana the way they built Lagos. So this is a very deep statement. It's a very deep statement. It's expected for Igbos to have an Igbe in Ghana since they built Ghana the same way they built Lagos. It's a very deep statement. So he's making a statement about claimership that they claim that they built Lagos. So now they've gone to build Ghana. So they are having an Igbe there. That's the meaning. That's a deep statement from this particular person. Down there, Victor Austin Olise, they don't carry their Wahala rich Ghana. Now we Igbo go get Ghana now. So this is a statement from Nigerians in Nigeria reacting to what is happening in Ghana. Another xenophobia against my people. Someone right. That's Abiola Enuoraba. This one from Adiwale Salami. These people are just giving Nigeria bad name everywhere all over the world. See, this one is from excuse me. This one is from Adiwale Salami. If I read further, this one is from Richard Oloyede. He said that Ghana is their next no man land. So this particular no man's land conversation, they claim that Igbos from their town, when they come to Lagos, they also tag Lagos as a no man's land because anywhere they go, they want to claim. So in short, Nigerians living in Nigeria are not too happy about what this so-called Igbo king has done in Nigeria, and it's causing a diplomatic row or is leading to a sort of uproar from Nigerians, from Ghanaians against Nigerians living in Nigeria, and they are calling for an immediate stop to any sort of claim that the man is making. Now, the man himself, when he met the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Ghana, he made a disclosure that the so-called video that has surfaced on the internet was done in 2013. Now, if you do the calculation, 2013 is 12 years ago. And in that video, which we have, I hope that we can put that video on the screens for our viewers to watch. He claimed that in that video, he proposed that he was going to buy 250 plots of land on the Aflo Road around the Ningo area, that he was going to build a village. He said he never used the word kingdom. He was going to build a village in which that he was going to build facilities to try and support the Igbo community in Ghana. And since that people raise a lot of concerns about that, all those issues have been put to rest. So he issued an unqualified apology to the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs and said that no such plan still remain, and then they've abandoned such plans and they are no longer pursuing that. But still, we don't know how the situation is going to pan out. One thing that we must bear in mind that Nigeria and Ghana has had a long standing good relationship, and we should know how to properly manage these issues on an official line so that it doesn't affect the diplomatic stance or the diplomatic relationship between the two countries. So this story is well captured on www.jafrikradio.com. So if you go log on to www.jafrikradio.com, you can really get this particular story and then read. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We have got the video of
the
king.
So let's get it rolling.
But I'm creating Igbo village, which has never happened in the history of the world among the Igbos in the world. As I'm talking to you, I've acquired 50 acres of land, that is 250 plus of land along the Flower Road, that is at Old Ningo area. Along that road, it's right on the road. I acquired 250 plus of land. My reason of acquiring this land is to build Igbo village in Ghana. I call it Amandi Igbo in Ghana. We'll build a village where we're going to build the palace of Igbo there, a huge palace. We'll build Igbo town hall there with about 2,000 capacity chairs and 100 rooms guest house. The essence of this guest house is most of the times our governors and our Igbo great leaders do come to Ghana. They always go with their entourage. If they come to Ghana, their entourage will see where they will lodge for free of charge, maybe for a day or two. Most of their visits, it doesn't take more than 48 hours or 24 hours. They stay there free of charge, and they know that, yes, this is what they have benefited from the Igbos living in Ghana. Again, our people that have accommodation problem and all that will come get there at least for 2 or 3 days before they can get out of the country, or those that come into the country, in one word or the other, will have accommodation of 100 rooms guest house. We will also...
Okay, so that was that was the explanation. So in short, though he denies that he's not building an Igbo kingdom, he's building an Igbo village where he's going to make facilities available to support the Igbo people. And if you look at that, that's quite strange, because Ghana also have our own set of system that we run here. We have a very rich cultural heritage that we are protecting. We respect our kings, we respect our traditional authorities. So I think that it's inappropriate. It's quite culturally insensitive on the part of the so-called Igbo king for him to come to a sovereign land and then try to build his own village and try to establish his own
claim
cultural
that he's going to
identity.
build his own village.
Build
He's
his,
claiming.
I mean, so that's quite problematic, and I only hope that the issues could be managed well, so it doesn't escalate. Sorry,
No.
so that the
I
issues
know.
don't escalate to
I
to
know
such a
it doesn't
level.
need to escalate, but actually, listen, okay?
Mm,
In early 80s, no,
the
late
early 80s.
80s, when Ghana Must Go happened, I remember
Mm,
one of my uncle, he went to Agege, Lagos,
mm,
and they were asked to leave. Whilst it was like, he said it was like very early in the morning.
mm,
Nyomoti and say, hey, Ghana for Munkona, people were just holding koti, holding cutlass and stuff, just driving down. You can't even go back to your home or your room to pick something.
to pick your belongings.
You cannot. By force, they put you in a trotro, wooden car.
Mm,
And one thing my uncle told me, would have never forgotten, is the car before or after them, no, there was this a pregnant woman in the car. Okay, she's pregnant and she also had a little baby. These people pour a gasoline in that car and
wow.
matches.
Like, yeah.
They lighted the matches into it and it started burning.
Well,
It's a very serious issue.
Serious issue.
We shouldn't take it, say, be a relationship, whatever. Not fight,
Yeah.
but that guy has to leave Ghana within 72 hours. If me Nanayao, I was the president of Ghana, no matter the your friend is a property that he has buy, he has to leave Ghana within 72 hours. Because first, we book Ghana, we boom nemra so two. One fa respect ama ahim for more Ghana. 3, Ghana for ankasa na yeti sa asase no so no. Asase na yen nana ndo mo mojaji ma ye no, we mbu Ghana for.
Yeah.
Na we ubetumi na atna baby ba akwa mana yeye.
No, of course.
As even cry ya chill. Na ye bisa why your video no is an evidence. What san catch me prime minister minister of foreign affairs one kasa emisa ni nana ebe kasa 12 years ago wo video no.
Mr. Pope, but to really like expatiate on this particular issues and Nigerians and their presence in Ghana. So I remember somewhere around 2006, right? That's when I started experiencing life in Accra. I think some few couple of years before I enrolled into the university. That's when like I was working in an internet cafe around Abeka to Abeka post office. Now that is where I really got to learn a lot about Nigerians and their presence in Ghana and some of the things that they were doing to harm or something, some of the things that were quite injurious to Ghana, right? So this is where like the romance scheme, right? Romance scam, right? Where they use a photo or the details of a female, a guy on the internet, use the details of a female, try to scam someone in another territory, maybe a white man in Europe or in America or elsewhere, where they do that. And most of the scam, most of the fraudulent activities online that they were doing, they were using Ghanaian documents, Ghanaian passports, Ghanaian, sometimes to the extent of getting the Ghanaian security involved. So they were paying these guys. They were using Ghanaian documents. They were using Ghanaian. They were defrauding people using the official identity, national identity of Ghana. And I think that we've allowed this, we've pampered this thing for quite a long time,
Very quite
to
a
the
long
extent
time.
that it has escalated to this level that now not just Nigerians, but most of them Nigerian foreigners now feels some level of comfort in Ghana, that Ghana is a safe haven. It's a place that you can come and commit any act of illegality and go scot free, and nobody will do anything to you. The system is loose. The security system, the security apparatus in the nation is loose. Nobody can hold you accountable for anything, and that's the reason why most people keep coming. Look, this fraud, internet fraud thing. I mean, around that time, around 2006, 2007, 2008, that was where it really peaked. And the reason why it gathered momentum and then it peaked was the presence of Nigerians in Ghana and how they introduced Ghanaians to it, and the thing developed into another level. And now where they are doing, or where they are taking the Ghanaian society, is another level of crime, another level of criminality. Like we said earlier, most of the things that you will see in Ghana in terms of robbery, armed robbery, shooting, raping, most of these things are connected or related to Nigerians in one way or the other. And that is quite problematic. And I think that it is important that we tighten our security as a nation. You know, when you talk about this, one of the key issues that you also have to look at is that you cannot say that you cannot allow a Nigerian to enter Ghana, because Ghana is affiliated or is associated to the economic community of the
ECOWAS.
West African state, ECOWAS. So Ghana is part of it, right? And within the citizens of this sub-regional group are allowed 90 days passage. So a Nigerian picks his passport or whichever identity card, can just move from Nigeria and enter into Ghana. He's permitted. You cannot stop him,
Yeah.
right? So we have to properly scrutinize, and it raises a lot of security questions that will remain unanswered, right? How we properly document people coming into Ghana from Nigeria, where they are staying, their roots, their actual background, their level of education, where their source of funding is coming from. We don't have any of this information. We don't have a system that is tracking any of these things. So people enter into the country, whether they are criminals, whether they are good people, bad people, whether they are armed robbers, whether they are drug traffickers, whether they are human traffickers. We don't have any such information. We just admit people into the country, and people just come in and go as and when they do whatever thing that they want. Nobody does anything to them. That's the reason why that so-called Igbo king will have that level of impunity to come and say that he is buying 50 acres of our land and try to build his own village and do the things that he wants to do. I think that Ghana as a nation has been too lenient. Look, I know that in due course we will have a discussion about the politics of Japan and tomorrow's elections, and then the political parties and then their campaign and what they are talking about with foreigners in I mean, countries where structures are properly working, like in Japan. You cannot just pick your passport and say you come from Ghana, you've entered Japan, and then you are just coming to do anything you have, transact business, do anything, whatever thing you like, and then exit the country. Things don't work like that here. And I think that these are the reasons why the so-called Igbo king has come in, and then he's doing whatever thing that he likes. And nobody can do anything to him. I remember someone passed a comment that the photo that he took with the foreign affairs minister, right, is going to even be a weapon for him to use it for another purpose and another day. Because here he is with the foreign affairs minister with the Ghana flag and himself. He's going to use it for another purpose.
They should have not taken that picture, cry. Anyway, what I think, say, is it today or tomorrow? All the youth, Ghanaian youth, they are going to the Independence Square for a walkout demonstration.
Yeah, for a demonstration against
Yes.
Yeah, against the action taken by So I saw the flyer has been on social media, it's been everywhere, and we are moving away from the controversial Igbo king. We are not coming to Japan this time around. We are moving from Ghana to Nigeria, and where we are going to Nigeria this week on Sunday. It was actually Monday morning here, but it was Sunday evening in the United Kingdom, and also in Africa. It was Sunday around 4:30 p.m. In Africa, where the world received the sad news of the passing of the former president of the Republic or the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari. He was 82. As per the reports confirmed by many international portals and also widely reported on Jafric Radio, www.jafricradio.com, former president of the Republic, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Buhari, passed away after failing to recover from leukemia. Leukemia is blood cancer. So I'm going to try and read to you the story as we captured um, on on jafricradio.com. So the story was published on the 13th of July. It says breaking news: former Nigeria President Buhari dies at 82. I don't know if we can if we can put the artwork there so that our viewers can enjoy it. Former Nigeria President Muhammadu Buhari has died in London, according to widespread reports. Buhari, 82, had traveled to the United Kingdom for medical treatment but passed away on Sunday at the age of 82. According to sources in London, the ex-military leader died of blood cancer, which is medically known as leukemia. Is the video now, but yes, on your screen is the video of the burial ceremony that took place a couple of days after he passed in London. But before that, I'm taking you through the report. He led the West African nation twice in the annals of the country. He first led the country as a military leader from December 31, 1983 to August 27, 1985. And he was then elected as a democratic leader in May 2015. So this was Buhari, Nigeria, and the world and Africa receiving the news or the sad news of the passing of the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, there's an interesting publication. There are 11 facts that you did not know about Muhammadu Buhari. 11 of them is also reported on www.jafricradio.com. So if you go through the stories, one, so it says that the two-time Nigerian leader Muhammad Buhari died in London at the age of 82. Buhari traveled to the United Kingdom for medical treatment but passed away on Sunday afternoon. According to sources in London, the ex-military man died of blood cancer. I've already told you that. So these are the top 11 things you didn't know about the former Nigerian leader. Now, did you know that, Mr. Pope? Did you know that Buhari was the 23rd child of his parents?
No, I didn't
Hello?
know. I didn't know.
Yes. So Buhari was the 23rd child. So his parents had a lot of children. He was the 23rd one. And then he was born in Douala in Katsina State of the northwestern part of Nigeria, in Katsina. So his parents had a lot of children, and he was the 23rd of them. Now,
he was the last born.
Yes, he was the last born, and then he was the 23rd. So it said number 2, during his tenure as the Federal Commissioner for Petroleum and Natural Resources, a whopping sum of $2.8 billion allegedly went missing from the Nigerian Petroleum Corporation account. So he was the chairperson or the commissioner for the Federal Petroleum and Natural Resources. During his tenure as the chairperson, a sum of $2.8 billion went missing, money which was not accounted for. So it also goes into his legacy. Now, did you also know that the man Buhari? I don't know if we can have his photo on the screen whilst we are having this conversation.
Yeah, the
Did you
photo
also
is
not
coming.
know that he entered the army in 1961? Buhari entered the Nigerian army in 1961. He was trained in London or the United Kingdom. He was trained in India and also trained in the United States of America. So first, he was trained in the prestigious Royal Military Academy in Sandhurst in the United Kingdom, in England. He was also trained in India, as I've said, and also underwent training in the United States of America. Now, did you also know that in 1975, he played a critical role? Listen to this. So he played a critical role in the coup d'etat that ousted the General Yakubu Gawan, leading to the rise of Murtala Mohammed. So in 1965, Buhari was part of those who plotted the coup that brought Murtala Mohammed into power as the federal president of the Republic of Nigeria. Murtala Mohammed. So if you go to Nigeria, their airport in Lagos, Murtala Mohammed International Airport, that particular president, Mohammed, was involved in the coup d'etat that brought him into power. Now, did you also know that in 1983, Buhari became a leader through coup d'etat? He became a leader of Nigeria in 1983 December, and then lasted until 1985, where he was overthrown from power. So he came through coup d'etat, lasted for 2 years, and then he was overthrown from power. So let me read that to you. As Nigeria's military ruler from 1983 to 1985, Buhari's regime was marked by strict focus on discipline and anti-corruption. His war against indiscipline campaign sought to instill order and accountability in the nation, grappling with economic indiscipline and widespread corruption. So this is Buhari. So in a man, when he came through power in 1983, he waged a war against indiscipline in the Nigerian society. Now, listen to this. August 27, 1985, when he was overthrown in a coup d'etat led by General Ibrahim Babangida. So in 1985, when he was overthrown, it was Ibrahim Babangida who overthrew him and removed him from office. Now, Babangida jailed Buhari for a period of how many years? 3 years. So Buhari spent a number of years in jail behind bars before he was eventually released from detention. Now he came out. When he came out, he evolved as a military leader and became a democratic leader. Now he tried to become a president of Nigeria for the first time in 2003. He was not successful. When he started in 2003, he contested. He lost. He came back in 2007, contested again, and then he lost again. Now in 2011, he still came back, contested, and lost against Goodluck Jonathan in 2011. Now this is a man who never knew how to give up. Now in 2015, he contested against Goodluck Jonathan and defeated him and won, and became the first ever president in the history of Nigeria to win an election as an opposition leader by defeating the incumbent. So this is the man with a dynamic history in the annals of Nigerian politics. First as a military leader from 1983 to 1985, then coming again, evolving as a military leader to become a democratic leader, contesting for the election on 3 different occasions: 2003, 2007, 2011, losing on all those occasions, but in 2015, defeating Goodluck Jonathan to become the president of Nigeria. Now, let me read this to you. Point 11. In 2015, he became the first opposition leader to defeat an incumbent president in an election, as he won against the incumbent president, Goodluck Jonathan. So this is the legacy of General Muhammadu Buhari. a lot of Nigerians remember him for the good and the bad reasons. I'm not sure a lot of Nigerians remember him for a lot of good reasons. And since he took over power in 2015, he was saddled with sickness. He really made a number of public appearances where Nigerians were calling for him to speak, but he was unable to make public appearances. Mostly, he was in London for a number of months, trying to deal with issues relating to his health. He spent a lot of time in London, eventually came back. Even when he was sick, he contested the seat again and then won until sadly, on the afternoon of July 13, 2025, the world learned of his passing. He was 82 years of age when he died. Now we have videos and then photos from the ceremony where the sitting president of Nigeria, Tinubu, traveled all the way to his hometown in Douala, where he was laid to rest. So if you can have the video scrolling on our viewers to watch.
Yeah, this is the video playing. So this was in Nigeria. They brought him back home.
This is in Nigeria. This is the family house of Muhammad Buhari. So he was buried in his family house in the Katsina state in Douala in Nigeria. So this is family compound where he was laid to rest, and it was a very sad spectacle for the late president. You can see that he's wrapped in the Nigerian flag. His body, because he's a Muslim, he was not buried in a casket. His body was slowly lowered into the grave where he was buried, and all the dignitaries were in attendance. The president of the Republic of Nigeria, like I said earlier, Tinubu, was there. I don't know if we can also put those images live, because Jafric Radio published all those photos from the funeral ceremony that was held for the former late leader of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, the General. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Now, we are moving on from Nigeria and coming straight to Japan. We are coming to Japan. Tomorrow, there's going to be a period where a lot of Japanese people are going to the polls to elect their this is the upper house elections. I don't know if I'm getting that right. The upper house elections that is going to take place in Japan. And a lot of stories have been running through this campaign period where the messages across the campaign, the rhetorics, the campaign promises from the various political parties in Japan have been have been very, very wild. And we can see that the Prime Minister of Japan, if Ishiba Shigeru, is that, I don't know if I got the pronunciation. Yeah, Ishiba Shigeru has promised that he's not going to allow is going to find a way to control the number of people, foreigners coming into Japan. And I read the headline for you. This story was published on the 9th of July 2025. And it says that Japan's Prime Minister Shiba vows not to allow this kind of people into Japan. I read the lead and the first two paragraphs for you. Japan's Prime Minister, I don't know if you can have his photo on the screens for our viewers to enjoy. Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has pledged to the Japanese people that his administration will introduce much stricter immigration policies if his political party wins the July 20 national upper house elections. In his latest address at the Japan National Press Club, he stated that some people with certain history will not be allowed into Japan. According to the president, his government wants to take more responsibility to deciding who is let into the country and that is not and that it will not tolerate illegal immigration. He was speaking at the Japan Press Club last Wednesday as the 8 political party leaders intensified their campaigns ahead of the election. The problems created by increasing number of foreign nationals in Japan has taken the center stage in the upcoming elections, with political parties offering different solutions at their campaigns. So here, I'm interested in reading the quote from the Prime Minister of Japan to you. He says that we will determine who they are. He's referring to foreign nationals. Those with certain past records will not be allowed to enter into Japan. And this is the first priority. So the Japanese Prime Minister, Ishiba Shigeru, has pledged or promised to the Japanese people that if his administration wins power again, he is going to make sure that people with certain past records or past history will not be allowed to enter into Japan. So if I'm sure if you committed crime, if you get yourself involving either draft trafficking or something that is illegal, on if you have that on your record, you are not going to be allowed into Japan. Now, this political party, their name is Nihon Ishin. I don't know if I'm getting that pronunciation correct. Nihon Ishin Nokai. Nihon Ishin Nokai. Yes,
Nihon
they
Ishin
have
Nokai.
made a pledge that yes,
It's
Nihon Ishin Nokai.
so
Yes,
so.
they have made a political pledge that has ruffled the feathers of a lot of foreign nationals living in Japan. It said that this Japanese political party, this story was also published on 9th of July 2025. This Japanese political party promises to reduce number of foreign nationals or foreign residents in Japan. And I read the lead and the first 2 paragraphs of the story for you. As Japan goes to the national upper house elections on July 20, 2025, various political parties are offering solutions to the various problems created by the increasing number of foreigners in the country. One party that has made its position clear on the subject matter is the Nihon Ishin Nokai political party. During the campaigns, during the Japan National Press Club debate on Wednesday, the party's leader stated emphatically that it has targeted reducing the number of foreign nationals in the country. The issue of the record number of foreign nationals arriving in Japan and its accompanying problems has taken center stage in the July 20 elections. A record number of foreigners have entered Japan to either visit or invest in the country, whilst others are in the country basically to look for work and relocate. Now, this is the statement. This is where my point of interest is. All this is on www.jafricradio.com. So this is what the leader of the political party, I'll read his name to you much later on. This is what he says. In light of the adverse effect of the disorderly increase, look at the word, disorderly increase in the number of foreign nationals and regional fractions, we will formulate a population strategy that includes measures to curb the rise in the ratio of foreign nationals and regulate the total number of foreign nationals accepted, and aim to establish a command center function to manage this strategy centrally at the national level. The party's leader promised. The population of Japanese children is declining. On the other hand, the number of foreigners is steadily rising. The Nihon Ishin chief, Hirofu Yoshimura, stated on June 30. So this political party, the Nihon Ishinokai, has made it clear that they are going to reduce the number of foreign nationals in Japan. So if they win the elections, this is one thing that they've pledged to Japanese people that they are going to do. But on a more serious note, there's one political party that says that no. As for us, we are not opposed to foreign nationals coming to Japan. And I want to read to you what they are saying in subsequent bulletin. So I don't know if Mr. Pope will take us through how the electoral processes work in Japan, because he has voted before. This is my first time experiencing the elections in Japan. So he has a lot of knowledge on how the electoral system works in Japan. I have no idea. So maybe he can assist us by taking us through the electoral process and how it works.
Thank you, Akyereku. Yeah. The only thing is, first you have to vote for the primary, in the same day. When you go to you vote for the primary. They have two booths or two ballot boxes. One is for the primary and one for the presidential. So you choose the person that you want in your area first, and then you also choose the person that you want for the presidential. So
for the presidential.
yeah, I went there 2 days ago because today we are traveling. I went there yesterday, and I voted. I didn't know whom to vote for, but I just picked up somebody who would win, and I just voted for that person. Yeah.
So basically, that is how the process works. So it's basically like voting for your presidential candidate and then voting for your representative in parliament. If
Yes,
like something similar like that as we have in Africa. So voting
it's
for
the
your
same.
presidential candidate and then voting for your representative in the in parliament or the I think they call it the House of Councillors or something like that. Yeah. So actually, there's good news on the horizon for foreign nationals living in Japan. There is one political party that has promised that it will not entertain any sort of discrimination against foreigners. In fact, they will open their doors and then welcome foreigners to come to Japan to come and work and integrate them into the system. Now, this story was carried on the 14th of July, 2025 on www.jafricradio.com. It says that the headline, this is the Japanese political party that favors foreigners' presence in Japan. Then 2025 upper house election, that's the tag. Now I read to your hearing. Various political parties have expressed their opinions and policies regarding the presence of foreign nationals in the country as they seek to convince voters in their bid to secure power. One of the key focuses of the July 2025 upper house elections in the East Asian country is the numerous problems caused by the record number of foreigners in the country. The situation has pushed almost all political parties to formulate solutions to the problems and sell them to the voters who are expected to select new leadership for the country. While the incumbent prime minister and his political party has vowed to the Japanese people that his administration will introduce much stricter immigration policies if his political party wins the July 20 national upper house election, the Nihon Ishino Kai political party has promised to reduce the number of foreigners in the country. However, one political party that has taken a sharply contrary position is the Democratic Party for the People. I take that again. However, one party that has taken a sharply contrary position is the Democratic Party for the People. That's DPP. DPP. In their manifesto, the DPP says that it's not against having foreigners working, but it is merely highlighting the issues faced by some regions in helping them adjust to life in Japan. Listen again, oh. It says that in their manifesto, the DPP says that it's not against having more foreign workers, but that it is merely highlighting the issues faced by some regions in helping them adjust to life in Japan. Instead, the party supports the creation of local centers offering multilingual support as well as extending support for Japanese language training for foreign children. However, on the subject of acquisition of properties by foreigners, the DPP has offered a different route to solving the problem. The party's positions remain that when it comes to the purchase of real estate in major cities such as Tokyo by the wealthy foreign nationals, DPP leader Yuichiro Tamaki says that he favors a stricter condition. He favors a stricter condition. So this party, the DPP, the Democratic Party for the People, says that they support foreign workers coming to Japan to contribute their quota. So this is the political party that has only stuck its neck out, that it supports the presence of foreigners. Now, this is an interesting twist. Now, the NGOs are pumping pressure on the Japanese political parties. Now, a story published on the 15th of July, 2025, The tag 2025 Upper House elections. 8 NGOs issued joint statement against Japanese political parties targeting foreigners on campaign platforms. It says that 8 human rights non-governmental organizations have issued a joint statement to condemn the alarming uptick in anti-immigration rhetoric by political parties ahead of the July 2020 Upper House elections. The organization the situation is causing major concerns among foreign nationals living in the East Asian country. In the statement, which has been captured by Jafric Radio soundbites such as Japan First and revision of preferential treatment for Japan for foreigners, have been described as examples of worrisome trend. The human rights organization have warned that if left unchecked, parties that advocate for such discriminatory policies could make march strides in upper house elections and eradicate the prospect of creating inclusive society. A total number 125 seats are up for grabs in the July 20 elections. These include half of the seats in the Diet Chamber and one for the Tokyo Electoral District that has become vacant. Elections are held every 3 years, with half of the seat up for grabs. This time there are 124 plus one extra seat to be occupied. So the NGOs in Japan are putting a lot of pressure on the political parties to take a critical look at how they are formulating their policies in terms of shaping the agenda of the Japanese cause in line with the discussion with foreigners and how they are formulating their policies. Now, Mr. Pope, a lot of foreigners are coming to Japan. There are a lot of foreigners in Japan now, and for me, if you look at it, it's creating some sort of concern for the Japanese people. If you look at that, because I remember I was having a conversation with you, I think a fortnight ago or so, where we are having this same discussion. I was in Number, same place that I saw the Rasta guy, around that same place in the night. I saw a Japanese family, a small Japanese family, an old man and his 2 sons. And they were having a conversation. And all of a sudden, I could hear the old man say to his son, "Nihonji Ganaya." Then his son responded, "Nine." And then they smiled. And within that confine, there are a lot of people, maybe if I am not exaggerating, 20,000, 30,000 people within that whole enclave. And all you could hear was Chinese, Korean,
languages,
English, or French. So you could see that from the tone or from that conversation that was taking place between the man and his children, it's creating a sort of worry for the Japanese people about the presence of foreigners in Japan. So this morning I was doing some research on the presence of foreigners in Japan, and I went to the National Tourism Organization of Japan, the Japan National Tourism Organization. I went to their portal and I was reading their report on the 2025 tourism, or the number of foreigners who have come to Japan. As of June 2025, a total number of 3.3 million people had entered Japan.
Amount of
A total number of 3.3 million people had entered Japan for the period of June 2025. And that represented an increase of 7.6% in terms of the number of people who are entering Japan. So more and more people keep entering into Japan. And what they are associating these issues with is the levels of crime that are being perpetuated. And maybe that is one point of concern for the Japanese people, that foreigners who come into Japan are not properly screened or monitored, and the level of crime in the country
even
that
here
is
in
rising.
Japan, you see. And what about our
Yes.
Everybody
So,
is protecting his land. You understand?
Yes, everybody's protecting their space. Everybody is protecting their space. So for the Japanese people, so it's an interesting conversation whether they should open up the country more and accept more foreigners who come in, or they should close their borders or restrict the number of foreigners who come to Japan. One reason why the tourism industry in Japan is booming, and it is clear. In 2025, there is the expo going on. And in the expo, you are inviting people to come and experience your country.
Yeah.
So more and more people will come into Japan. More people are coming. More people from Africa are coming. More people from Europe are coming. More people from the Americas are coming to Japan to experience it because there's an activity going on. The expo, right? So it's one of the reasons. Then also look at the performance of the Japanese currency, the yen. Now, because the yen has not been stabilized, right? If someone picks $1, he's able to get more Japanese yen. So if an American or European has dollar and he's looking at the possible places that they can go to spend holiday, to go on tourism, to go and spend their money, they consider Japan because when they pick the dollar or the euro and then come to Japan, they have more purchasing power because Japan is one place that the level of inflation has remained consistent for a certain number of years. So if they are coming to Japan, then they know that they are coming to spend their money and then get value for money. So that's the reason why a lot of people are coming to Japan to come and experience Japan, and that has contributed to the number of Japanese people, foreigners coming to Japan, and then the issues that they are claiming associated with it. Now we are shifting to sports. Today we don't have a lot of graphics to put on the screen for our viewers to see. We are just doing the talking. So it would have been very, very much important to have a lot of graphics to put on the screen for our viewers. This time it's our graphic designer who disappointed us. Divine was not up to task, so he didn't put the artworks together for us to use. Now, if you go to www.jafricradio.com, still on sports, do you know that the CAF Women's AFCON is going on? The African Cup of Nations, the women's version is currently going on. And this morning, or to say that last night in Africa, a number of games have gone on, and I want to run to you with a scoreline that took place. Interestingly, there was a game that took place between Nigeria and Zambia, the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And the Nigerian women's national team, their name is the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And then the Zambian national team is called the Copper Queens. You know, the Zambian national team, the Copper Bullet, that's the men's national team's name. And then the Zambian national team, the female, is called the Copper Queens. So Nigeria defeated their Zambian counterpart by 5-0. 5-0. So this was a quarterfinal game between Zambia and Nigeria, where the Super Falcons defeated them by 5-0. Now, if you look at the ladies on the score sheet, it's amazing. Nigeria just swept them by 5-0, and they booked their place to the semi-finals of the competition. Now, the next game that was played took place between Morocco and Mali. Can you guess the scoreline? Morocco and Mali. Okay. Morocco defeated Mali by 3-1.
Wait. Morocco defeated Mali 1.
By 3-1. By 3-1. Yes, Morocco defeated Mali by 3-1. And Ghana needed to win to actually reach the quarterfinals because Ghana was in a very delicate situation and prior to their qualification to this stage of the competition. Now Ghana have qualified to the quarterfinals, today, as in today in Africa, but in tomorrow in Japanese time, 1 a.m. around 1 a.m. Japanese time tomorrow, Sunday dawn, 1 a.m. That will be Africa time. Ghana will take on the Desert Foxes of Algeria. The Ghana national team is called the Black Queens. They will take on their counterparts from Algeria. They are called the Desert Foxes. I don't know whatever the female foxes are called, but the Algeria national team is called the Foxes. So the Ghana national team, the Black Queens of Ghana, will take on the Desert Foxes of Nigeria in the other quarterfinal encounter. Now, another interesting encounter that will take place is also a game between the South African national team and their counterparts from Senegal. The South African national team and their counterparts from Senegal. No, so the the South African team is called Bafana. You know, the men's national team is called Bafana. The South African national team, and then the ladies is called Bafana, and then they will take on the Teranga Lioness of Senegal. Right? So the Senegalese national team, the men's national team is called the Teranga Lions of Senegal. And then the female national team is called the Teranga Lioness of Senegal. So that will be the other quarterfinal fixture that will take place between the two sides. So don't forget, Nigeria have secured their place. As a matter of fact, they booked their place to qualify for the next stage of the competition. So Nigeria is waiting to face the winner of the game between Senegal and South Africa in the semi-finals of the competition. Whilst Morocco have also booked their place and is awaiting the winner of the game between Ghana and
Zambia.
Algeria. So there could be a North African affair. There could be a North African affair. If Algeria manage to beat Ghana, it will be a Morocco versus Algeria affair.
Please
if Ghana manages to beat Algeria, it will be a game between Morocco and Ghana in the other semi-final encounter. Now, there's also a possibility of an all West African affair. If Senegal is able to beat South Africa, it will be a game between Nigeria and Senegal, which will be an all West African affair. There's a high probability that we will have a West Africa versus a North African final. Of course, you all know that the most successful nation in the history of this women's AFCON is Nigeria. They have won the AFCON tournament more than any other nation in the African continent. No other nation has won the AFCON more than Nigeria, and they produce most of the most exciting players in the tournament. They've won it 9 good times. The current champions of the competition is South Africa. The Bafana of South Africa are the holders of the competition. So if you're looking at that, they are the holders. They last won the competition, and Nigeria, who are the all-time record holders, will try to wrestle the tournament from them. So it's going to be an interesting competition. It's going to be an interesting tournament to see how it pans out for the Black Queens of Ghana against the Desert Foxes of Algeria, and also the South African national team against their counterparts from Senegal, to see who Ghana will face in the semi-finals and who Nigeria also face in the semi-finals in the 2025 CAF Women's African Cup of Nations currently taking place in Morocco. So this is a lowdown of what is happening. Can you believe it? Divine has now sent the thing that we are done. We are wrapping up. He's now put the flyer on the platform. This guy, he needs to be keen. Anyway, so this is where we draw the curtains on today's edition of the show. It's a maiden edition of the show. We've done close to 2 hours we've done 1 hour 30 minutes to be precise, of discussions on topical issues that dominated Africa. But on next week, we will bring you update on what really happened or will happen on the issue of the Igbo king in Ghana. We also bring you update of what happened in the Japanese elections. We're going to keep close up on it because this election has a lot of promise, or will decide the fate of foreigners in Japan, because all the political parties have declared their stance. So we know when the Nihon Nishino Kai, when they win, they are going to take a very much stricter policy on immigration against foreigners. We know that if the Democratic Party for the People, the DPP, if they win, there will be freedom for foreigners in Japan. And we know the others that are also towing the middle line. So we are going to follow all this and then bring you details. And of course, we'll bring you latest update. I'm sure by next week we will see the nation that has won the CAF Women's African Cup of Nations, whether it's going to be Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Senegal, or Morocco. One of these four nations will end up winning it. So we'll bring you update on who has won it, and also with other interesting development. And also, do you know that an immigration officer was murdered in Ghana? That story happened like a little bit over 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but it was one of the stories that you can also read on our portal. That an immigration officer was murdered, and it actually has to do with a debt, money that a friend of his friend was owing him, and then it led into a lot of back and forth, the case going to court, and then eventually he being murdered under mysterious circumstances in Ghana, and all the issues surrounding it. And there are also other issues that will follow up during the course of the week. So this is where we'll draw the curtains on today's edition of the week in review. We promise to bring you a better edition where we will make a lot of graphics and materials for you to watch, and also bring in your contribution and submission whilst we are doing the program live. So thank you very much for sticking with the Africa Radio. I'll hand you over to my boss, Mr. Pope, for him to do the proper wrapping up of the show.
Okay. Akyereku, thank you so much for the great information that you've given us today, this morning. As you said, next week we are going to prepare ourselves very well and, feed our listeners and watchers. We really apologize of the hitches that we had this morning. And we're still new in the system, and we're going to get better so that we can serve our community. This program is designed for giving information on the news that we've got on our JaffricRadio.com homepage. We go through what has happened in the world. We bring news from all over the place, and then we just discuss it. So you can also join us in the future. We're going to have a call-in. We will have a call-in section so that we can also interact with people from outside. So please keep in mind, and every Saturday from 7 a.m. until 8:30 a.m. we will bring you the week in review with Emmanuel Akyereku and me, Yaw Pop. Thank you so much for your time, for watching and listening to us. And what we need to do is we should become one. Akyereku, Nigerian can go to Ghana, live happily. Ghanaian can go to Nigeria, live happily. We're all Africans. We're all human. Ghanaians can come to Japan, obey the law, live in a happily life. A Ghanaian can go to Africa, can go to Ghana, can go to Nigeria, whatever in Africa, and live. So this is what we are supposed to make the world look like. So thank you so much, and looking forward to see you tomorrow. Next week, sorry. Arigatou gozaimasu. Hi, Akyereku.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Hi. See you next week. And we will say bye-bye to everyone whilst we play.
Bye-bye.
This theme music was by Mr. Will D. Charlie. He is the music for this program was made by Will D. Charlie. So whilst we are listening to this and watching some videos, we'll say goodbye and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Relevant to you, agenda. Liberty agenda. It's all about agenda. agenda. Liberty agenda, agenda, agenda. It's all about agenda. Say it to my face now. Why should I? Face now. Why should I? Say it to my face now. Say to my. Agenda, 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 agenda. Liberty agenda, agenda. Relevant to you, really. Agenda, 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 agenda.
This is Jafric Radio.
Agenda, agenda. It's all about agenda, 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 agenda. Liberty agenda, agenda, agenda. It's all about agenda. Say it to my face now. Why should I?